It is said that if chronology of writers is learnt, literature is half completed. Hi, hello, here I am with another most important show of English literature about birth years of English writers, and that is chronology of English writers. In every exam, we get 2 to 7 questions based on chronology. There are hundreds of writers in English literature, but here assembled chronology of most important 150 writers only. Here we are going to start from serial number 1. Roger Ascham, 1515. John Fox, 1516. George Gascoigne, 1525. Thomas Sackville, 1536. Sir Thomas North, 1535. Edmund Spenser, 1552. Richard Hakluyt, 1552. Sir Walter Raleigh, 1552. Sir Philip Sidney, 1554. Richard Hooker, 1554. John Lilly, 1554. Thomas Lodge, 1557. George Peele, 1558. Robert Greene, 1558. Thomas Kidd, 1558. George Chapman, 1559. Francis Bacon, 1561. Michael Drayton, 1563. Christopher Marlowe, 1564. William Shakespeare, 1564. Thomas Middleton, 1570. Thomas Dekker, 1572. John Donne, 1573. Ben Jonson, 1573. Thomas Heywood, 1575. Samuel Purchas, 1575. John Webster, 1578. John Fletcher, 1579. Francis Beaumont, 1584. Philip Massinger, 1584. John Ford, 1586. Robert Herrick, 1591. Thomas Carew, 1594. James Shirley, 1596. Sir Thomas Browne, 1605. Thomas Fuller, 1608. John Milton, 1608. Edward Hay, Earl of Clarendon, 1609. Samuel Butler, 1612. Jeremy Taylor, 1613. Richard Crashaw, 1613. Richard Lovelace, 1618. Abraham Cowley, 1618. Andrew Marvell, 1621. Henry Vaughan, 1622. Sir William Temple, 1628. John Tillotson, 1630. John Dryden, 1631. George Etheredge, 1635. William Wycherley, 1640. John Crowne, 1640. Thomas Shadwell, 1642. Nathaniel Lee, 1649. Thomas Otway, 1651. Sir John Vanbrugh, 1664. Matthew Prior, 1664. Jonathan Swift, 1667. William Congreve, 1670. Joseph Addison, 1672. Sir Richard Steele, 1672. Nicholas Rowe, 1674. George Farquhar, 1678. John Gay, 1685. Alexander Pope, 1688. Samuel Richardson, 1689. James Thomson, 1700. Henry Fielding, 1707. Samuel Johnson, 1709. Lawrence Sterne, 1713. Adam Smith, 1723. Oliver Goldsmith, 1728. Edmund Burke, 1729. Bishop Percy, 1729. Thomas Paine, 1737. Sheridan, 1751. William Godwin, 1756. William Blake, 1757. Robert Burns, 1759. Anne Radcliffe, 1764. William Wordsworth, 1770. James Hogg, 1770. Walter Scott, 1771. Samuel Taylor Coleridge, 1772. Robert Southey, 1774. Charles Lamb, 1775. Jane Austen, 1775. George Gregory Lewis, 1775. William Hazlitt, 1778. Leigh Hunt, 1784. Thomas Love Peacock, 1785. Thomas De Quincey, 1785. George Gordon Byron, 1788. Henry Hart Millman, 1791. Percy Bysshe Shelley, 1792. John Keats, 1795. Thomas Carlyle, 1795. Mary Shelley, 1797. Thomas Bobbington Macaulay, 1800. Elizabeth Barrett Browning, 1806. H.W. Longfellow, 1807. Edward Fitzgerald, 1809. Alfred Lord Tennyson, 1809. Mrs. Elizabeth Gaskell, 1810. William Makepeace Thackeray, 1811. Charles Dickens, 1812. Robert Browning, 1812. Anthony Trollope, 1815. Charlotte Bronte, 1816. Emily Bronte, 1818. John Ruskin, 1819. George Eliot, Mary Ann Evans, 1819. Charles Kingsley, 1819. Arthur Hoocliffe, 1819. Anne Bronte, 1820. Matthew Arnold, 1822. Wilkie Collins, 1824. George Meredith, 1828. Dante Gabriel Rossetti, 1828. Christina Georgina Rossetti, 1830. Samuel Butler, 1835. Algernon Charles Swinburne, 1837. Walter Pater, 1839. Thomas Hardy, 1840. Gerard Manley Hopkins, 1844. Robert Bridges, 1844. Henry Arthur Jones, 1851. Andrew Cecil Bradley, 1851. George Moore, 1852. Oscar Wilde, 1854. George Robert Gissing, 1857. Joseph Conrad, 1857. Rudyard Kipling, 1865. W.B. Yeats, 1865. Herbert George Wells, 1866. Enoch Arnold Bennett, 1867. John Galsworthy, 1867. E.V. Lucas, 1868. John Millington Synge, 1871. Bertrand Russell, 1872. Walter D. Lamar, 1873. William Somerset Maugham, 1874. Edward Morgan Forster, 1879. Lytton Strachey, 1880. James Joyce, 1882. John Drinkwater, 1882. Virginia Woolf, 1882. Sean O'Casey, 1884. Ezra Pound, 1885. Siegfried Saussure, 1886. Rupert Brooke, 1887. T.S. Eliot, 1888. Eugene O'Neill, 1888. So that's it. This list is trimmed by Sandeep Kumar Pawar from Nalgonda, who qualified SET, NET and JRF consecutively. Thank you all for staying with us.